I'm just going to summarize in this video what I feel like are the 3 essential steps you must follow to achieve a lower or healthy A1c, because that is obviously a big bottom line goal of why you're taking this course. Having good blood sugar levels. Step number 1 in lowering your A1c is to make sure you look at all of the videos that teach you how to make sure that your basal rate is set correctly. Basal rate refers in pump users to the drip rate of insulin that is set in the pump, the 24-hour-a-day drip rate. Those of you on shots, it's the long-acting insulin that you take. I will use those words interchangeably. If I say long-acting, I'm also referring to basal rate. If I say basal rate, I'm also referring to long-acting. Because obviously if you're on shots, you need that long-acting insulin to essentially create that basal rate type effect of having a little bit of insulin in your system all day long. Having this set correctly is essential. I have seen so many patients be told what their basal rate is supposed to be and then on their way without ever being educated on how to adjust it, which is essential because so many things in life are going to demand a different basal rate. It's so often that we just focus on blood sugar levels at meal times, but there's a lot more time in the day than just when we're eating, right? So we need good blood sugar levels in between meals and while we sleep. So that's why step number 1 of how to lower your A1c and keep it healthy is making sure your basal rate is set correctly. Now, step 2 that I teach all my patients, it's not a universal rule, but this is what I've seen and what I believe to be true. Step 2 is choose low-carb meals most of the time. I define low carb to mean less than 30 grams at any one time. When we eat smaller amount of carbs, we have a less chance of going high and we take less insulin, so we have a less chance of having a horrible low. Count and cover, in my opinion, doesn't work, which means eat as many carbs as you want and take however big of a dose you need to cover it. That creates such a dangerous roller coaster. So for my patients, I teach at least 80% of the time. We don't have to be 100. Of course, sometimes I love to have birthday cake, and I know you do too, or ice cream, or bread, or pizza, whatever your favorite carb indulgent is. We want to be able to have that, and I say go ahead, but just not on a daily basis. So my rule for lowering A1c, rule number 2, is just make life easier for yourself and eat lower carb most of the time. And step number 3 in lowering your A1c and keeping it healthy is really be aware of what your blood sugar levels are doing throughout the day by either testing frequently or having a continuous glucose monitor. And be aggressive to get those blood sugar levels that go high back down. Anytime I see my blood sugar level elevated and I've recently given myself insulin, perhaps this has happened after a meal, I try to find 5 minutes to just go on a brisk walk or jump around or have a dance party. Anytime I see my blood sugar level go up and you see your blood sugar level go up, as long as you've recently taken a bolus or have some rapid acting insulin on board, moving your body can bring it right back down. Follow the videos that show you when and how to correct, meaning taking more insulin for a high, versus when you can just use some exercise to bring it down. But that's step number 3, is be aggressive with those highs. Do what is needed to get them down. Following these 3 steps, I guarantee you will have a healthier A1c.